Win Beauty by Serena Williams is a skin tint that I actually wanted to try. This is a hydrating, skin enhancing tint. First and foremost, I want to talk about the fact that, since having my baby, I am struggling with color match. For whatever reason, it's like all of my foundation is too dark, and I was able to match this one pretty decently in Ulta alone without any assistance. So here we are. It's a squeeze top, so I'm gonna be honest and say I don't always like squeeze tops at first because I feel like you gotta press them, and then they always give you, it's always like you need a squirt and a half. Like, you never just need a squirt, and I don't know what I'm doing and why I'm so out of this focal point. But follow me as I apply said foundation to my face. As y'all can see, it being a skin tint, it is literally like my skin. Now, at first it does look a little light, but once I begin to blend it in, then you'll see that it's actually a pretty decent match. I have yellow undertones, so I think that's why sometimes my foundation starts off looking a little dark or a little light, and then once I blend it in and do everything else, it looks really decent. I must have realized that I was out of the focal point. I don't know what I had going on. So here I am adding some more. It is buildable, and I like that about it. So I am always going to go for the buildable foundation. I do like full coverage, but I feel like this is not full coverage, and this is also great for the summertime when you are simply just trying to have that even finished look. You want to look a little polished, but you're not trying to go overboard. You're not trying to have it look like you snatched up. Y'all know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm saying? In addition to that, I like how this is making my skin look moisturized and healthy. Like I said, I like that it's buildable. I do have some blemishes. I don't necessarily color correct, so for me, I'm always going to look for the foundation that I can kind of build on top of my blemishes versus having to color correct. I'm just not a fan of it, and I feel like when you have to color correct, you almost have to overcompensate for the foundation. So in general, I was kind of surprised by the fact that this is definitely giving skin. All right, so of course I do my normal things. I prime underneath, which I didn't show, and then I normally go in with some setting spray after I apply my foundation, allow that setting spray to dry down, and then we follow up with the normal things like concealer under the eyebrows, concealer under the eyes and on the nose, all of the places that we normally put everything else. So in any instance that I'm trying out any type of new foundation, I'm always going to take the normal steps that I always take. I'm always going to use the same products that I always use because I want to see if this foundation is going to mesh and blend well with my holy grails. So here you see me just blending in that concealer a little bit. I don't like to blend it all the way because I want there to be some definition in the fact that I'm just trying to make the bottom half of my eyebrows pop a little bit. If you don't like that, log off, because this is definitely my page, my tutorial, and not really nothing for you to be saying to me. Of course, we're going to go in and you're going to see me do the same strategic process that I do every time. I like to get in the corner. I don't necessarily like to go over onto my nose. You'll see that I pay a lot of attention to that, and I like to come as far as I can to the closest edge of my edges. And I want to show this portion of it because I want you to see how it behaves when I'm blending in the concealer, because quite naturally I don't have Win Beauty concealer. So this is me using something that is not Win Beauty to be able to test out how does it work well with other foundations, other concealers, other powders, other setting sprays, other primers, other whatever it is. And as you can see, it blends really well. And this is me just going in and contouring. And I've been doing this thing where I've been using liquid concealer to contour. I normally use powder. So just kind of bear with me because this is like a new thing for me. And I always take my concealer into the hooded portion of my eyes because it gives me a little bit of definition. I'm not really an eyeshadow girl. I don't really like doing eyeshadow. I like to keep that as natural as possible. And so that's why you see that there. So here I am blending, 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 Blend it out, girl. Blend it out. It might look crazy right now, but I promise you my face ate. And I want to prepare y'all now. I definitely didn't get any good video or picture footage of this beat after I was done. And that's okay. You know, here you see me using that same concealer to contour in all the places that I'd like to contour. Again, I'm trying out a liquid option. And this is new for me, so I do feel like it's a lot. I feel like it also requires you to blend so much more. And please note that brush probably got some concealer on it too. So judge your mom and her bald spot and not me, because I'm not the one of the two. And if you want to take it there, of course, we can always take it there. And here I am adding some more concealer. Again, this is to illustrate how this skin tint foundation works with a variety of products and brushes. The one thing that I want to say is that it doesn't move around. Now, that could very well be because I use a setting spray, but either way, it's not one of those foundations that I feel like when I started to apply other products on top of it, it started to like disappear and you have to go back and add more foundation. I do not feel like that is the case at all. Here I am putting some powder on top of that concealer. Again, I want to see how this foundation behaves when we continue to layer our makeup as normal. Now, the one thing that I'm going to probably add and insert in here is if you don't test out foundations and concealers and powders in your normal makeup routine, honestly, you don't really know the truth of how it behaves in relation to your skin, in relation to your makeup look. I like to try it out the same way that I would use my Holy Grail products, because it's just going to let me know, can I use the same application process? Do I need to get a little snazzy and creative with how I do it? Is it going to require additional steps to make sure that it sets well? Do I need to give it time to oxidize into my skin? Whatever it is, you have to consider all of those things, because if you don't, like, you're going to spend an hour doing your makeup and then you're going to put that setting powder on top of it and it's going to ruin it. And then you're going to have to do it for another hour because all right, so here I am adding the highlight, and this is pretty much us getting very close to the end. So y'all gonna have to use your imagination with what this face actually ended up looking like, because I'm going to use all my 10 million setting sprays. Y'all know Charlotte Tilbury airbrush finish in the Derma Blend Lock and Last. And then, of course, Urban Decay All-Nighter. We're going to use all three of them. Yes, because I'm oily and I need help and it's hot outside. So don't judge me. Judge your mom and her bald spot as I continue to say that. Now, here we are. You can kind of see it settling down a little bit, but in general, with just the foundation, just with the setting spray, she eaten already. Disregard that lash glue that's on there. This is an additional matte finish spray that I use, and y'all, it just be making me look like glass skin with my foundation. Y'all not telling me this face don't eat though.